Hello, beautiful humans, and welcome to the Mental Wellness Wakeup Show. I'm your host, Dawn McMillan, the spiritual psychotherapist, bringing you wisdom from both spirituality and psychology so we can all create lasting well-being. Speaking of lasting well-being, at this moment of this recording here in 2022, I am in bed recording on my phone because I threw my back out. I don't know if that's a colloquial Americanism, throwing your back out, but I injured my back. And I would love to tell you that it was in service of something amazing, like I was rescuing a cat from a tree or getting the winning basket at the buzzer in a wonderful game of basketball. But no, I was reorganizing the linen closet because I couldn't find any washcloths. So here I am canceling my plans for the day and the weekend, actually. And what I want to share with you about this is that this injury was preventable. I think you might hear Bertram rearranging himself out there. This injury was preventable. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. I had an intuition. I had 3. So earlier in the week, I had the thought, wow, my purse is really heavy. And then I went about my business. A couple of days later, wow, my purse really is heavy. I wonder why it's so heavy. So I start looking into my purse and I'm noticing I've got hand sanitizer and lotion and contact lens solution and I carry 2 phones, my personal phone and my work phone, and just heavy. I think, wow, I should probably do something about that because this is really heavy. And I tend to carry my purse on one side, sometimes in a crook of my elbow, sometimes on my shoulder. Third time was yesterday. I was running an errand with my younger child, and I thought I would have to wait for a while, so I tucked a hardcover book into my purse, and I thought to myself, holy smokes, this is really heavy. And a few hours later, I'm doing something pretty mundane and ouch. 3 hints, 3 of them, to pay attention to the heavy purse that was making me lopsided and then vulnerable to an injury when I was doing something really simple. Folding towels is really not a high pressure activity. But because I'd made myself vulnerable by spending, more than a week with a super heavy purse leaning off to one side, I had an injury that I could have prevented if I had listened to my intuition. So the thing about intuition is that, in the Christian tradition, it's called the still small voice. It's those nudges. I call them God nudges, but we all have those little hints, those little whispers that say, hey, this is something worth paying attention to. And in my own experience, I often find they do come in 3s. In my family, we like to joke about, you want to get the nudge because otherwise you're going to get the 2x4. And for me, those little nudges of noticing that my purse was heavy and noticing that I was having some discomfort in my back in response to that were nudges. And the 2x4 was when I tweaked my back doing a super mundane activity. It was as if my body was like, I told you that you need to take care of this. You're going to take care of this. And so part of what we're doing when we are focusing on our wellness is learning that discernment. So many of us have beautiful, wonderful, intuitive senses that are very well developed, but what isn't developed is our ability to discern the intuition from the programming, to discern the intuition from the complete cacophony of voices inside our heads. And so part of what we are doing when we are learning to pay attention to our inner world in a more neutral, kinder way is that we can then understand which voices are our intuition and worth listening to and what's chatter. Those nudges that I got about my purse, they weren't mean or loud or any sort of intensity. It was just, hey, 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 hey. And so we tend to listen to the louder, meaner voice, not necessarily meaner, the louder voices often, which are meaner, which is like, you know what you need to do? Or the ones that beat us up, or the inner critics, or the voices that push. Our intuition doesn't do that. It's often like, hey, just thought I'd let you know. Here's some information for you. And in my case, it really, the amount of, if I had, instead of deciding to do the linen closet, which I will let you know is not urgent, I had decided to reorganize my purse, and I did have that thought. I had the thought, hey, let me go ahead and clean out from my purse the things that really aren't necessary. I'm not going camping. I don't need to carry in everything that I'm going to need. I go from a house to an office to other nice places. Like if I really need something, I can acquire it, or I can, do without. So I had the intuition, hey, why don't you clean out your purse and streamline a little bit? Maybe even swap out to another purse. But I didn't. I'm like, oh, I'll get to that. Let me do this other thing first. And it didn't work out for me. So I'm grateful that I'm able to rest up today. I am grateful that it feels incredibly minor. And I'm grateful for this opportunity to learn the lesson that listening to my intuition is important. And I want to invite you to also learn the lesson that listening to your intuition is important. And one of the ways that you can begin to get that discernment is to practice with pretty insignificant things. So let's say you get a nudge that says that you are more likely to get the left elevator than the right elevator. That left elevator is going to come up first. Just go stand by the left elevator and see what happens. And then if it is accurate, you go, that's interesting. And notice what you were feeling in your body. Not your emotions necessarily, but the bodily sensations of intuition. Or you can try something simple like, should I wear the red shirt or the green shirt today? Which one feels like it's going to create more peace or joy in my experience today? And try it out and see what you notice. Which of these index cards should I use for this reminder to myself? The yellow one or the white one? Just really simple things. Try experiments, listen to the guidance that you get, and observe what happens. And as we begin to notice, I had this thought that, and I listened to it and XYZ happened, or I didn't listen to it and XYZ happened, then you can avoid what I did, which was get 3 nudges, actually 4 if you count the why don't you organize your purse one, before you get a much stronger urge, a much stronger message. So part of what I also want to bring to awareness in regards to my little story, it's because it's not about me, really is that Professor Life, I heard that from someone, I really wish I could credit her for it. I don't remember who it was. But Professor Life is always giving us opportunities to learn something new and interesting and good. So I think it's very telling that I injured myself by carrying too much. Not subtle, is it? I injured myself by carrying too much. And when my inner wisdom said, hey, maybe lighten your load a little, I didn't. And so I invite you to look at your life, at those obstacles that are arising, and without shame or blame, without making it right or wrong, just ask yourself, if this is a metaphor for something, What might it be? And please take this lightly. I'm not saying that everything that happens to you is a message. And what if it is? What if it is? In literature, we talk about foreshadowing and metaphor, and in movies, really good filmmakers are going to plant visual seeds, sometimes even auditory seeds in this course of the storytelling so that it pays off later. And sometimes you're like, oh, wait, that's the thing with the thing. I remember I think it's a Spike Lee movie that starts with a picture of a roller coaster. Oh, Inside Man. It starts with a picture of a roller coaster, and that's that hint like, oh, you're going to go for a ride. And then when you get to the end of the movie, you're like, oh, he really took me for a ride. And so what if the circumstances of your life is a really good filmmaker giving you hints? Ask yourself, what might these things that stand out in your mind, noticing someone's outfit or having a meeting get canceled. I had a friend who had an obstacle arise for her today and had to cancel something that was very important to her. So if we were watching the movie or reading the book, what might this metaphor be? And again, I really want to stress, let's take this all very lightly. We can get very serious about our lives or our self-help or our personal development. And that's not what I'm suggesting. What I am suggesting is that as we are as we're woking and working on our intuition so that we can have better internal guidance, that we play with the circumstances of our life just to see how it goes. So I invite you to playfully practice listening to impulses and urges that you get and seeing what happens, and playfully examining those little incidences that pop up in your attention and say, if this was a metaphor, if this was foreshadowing, if this was a secret coded message from Professor Life, who loves me and wants what is best for me, I know a lot of us are experiencing deep and profound distress, anxiety, and depression. So I want to make sure when we're playing this game, it's from a space of, this is for my good. This is from a place of love and kindness, so that we're not looking at everything as a message that says, you are doomed, everything is terrible. No. Your brain will do that by itself. You don't have to go and invite it to. If Professor Life, who loves me and cares for me and wants what's best for me, is giving me a secret coded message or showing me a metaphor and or giving me an opportunity to refine my intuition, what might this be? What do you think? Try it. See what happens. Personally, the energy of playfulness is one that I love in my life. One of the reasons why I do improv and make up silly songs for my dog and otherwise act like a silly human being, because playfulness is so important to our happiness and our joy. And all other mammals play throughout the lifespan. So should we humans. So I invite you to be playful with all of this. And I invite you to allow me to be the one to tell you that you, right here, right now, are whole, perfect, and complete, just the way you are. And you are worthy and deserving of all good things. True, true, true. All right, if you feel so inclined, send me healing vibes. And if you feel so inclined, I would be ever so grateful if you could share this work with at least one other person. Like, subscribe, comment, give me 5-star reviews on the places where you listen. It really does help get the word out. And I am excited that you are here with me in this moment. Until next time.